home buying myths during the process of purchasing home.
But first, let's hit it. Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our Tailing Podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast and YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and get notified.
Honestly, you can also text to 252-327-3357, or you go to alandvictoriapinder.com, just alandvictoria.com, and you can find us there. And also, don't forget our buyer's guide and seller's guide in the description below.
Today, we basically wanted to unpack a lot of information, including commission, mortgage rate, home buying myths for all people in America that they wanted to purchase a home.
Right, because when you're in the process of buying a home, there's a lot of things that kind of pop up and people will ask, and there's this. So 51% of all Americans, we'll start with commission because we're real estate agents, so we understand this, right? 51% is how we make our money. 51% do not accurately understand the commission charged by real estate agents. And they feel that it's over and that what they're going to look for the cheapest thing out there. And we can tell from personal experience before we were real estate agents, it's a really not a good idea. Because
but as in the seller side.
But on the seller side.
Exactly.
So because, what is it? Tell me about the average commission details.
Basically, average commission is traditional realtors charge commission of the 6% from the home sell price from the seller,
and what's
which
divided?
This fee actually divided in general equally between the buyers and sellers agents.
Now, I mean, life can change, but at the filming of the video, that's what the reality is. And also, yet only 11% of all Americans actually know these numbers and know the statistics. What the demographics are: 14% of homeowners are informed.
Exactly.
Non-homeowners, only 7% are actually aware that they will be getting a buyer's agent at a significant low. You're not paying crazy numbers to get an expert on your side.
Exactly. And another misconception in commission payment is basically a staggering of the 62% of Americans mistakenly believe that it's buyers who should pay the commission.
Right.
No?
Now, that's not true with the filming of this video. What happens in the future, again, I do not know. But I do know that having an expert on your side is always a great information. And it gets you to the actual finish line so the seller can actually get the money that they want for their home because the buyer's agent does all the work. Right?
Exactly.
They really do all the work. The seller's agent's work is going to be advertising, making sure that house is out there, getting that home sold. The buyer's agent is taking their client and getting them to the finished table. So they actually have the harder job.
And what is that 12% is about?
But 12% believe that non-homeowners do not even know that where the home buyer's commissions come from.
Exactly. Now, the next item is really buyer's potential saving myth. This is many people also misunderstood this, and majority meaning that 65% are under the impression of the bypassing an agent leads to saving.
Which is not true. If you want to go to the buyer's agent and you want the listing agent to be the buyer's agent, you're losing protections as a buyer because the seller, they're protecting the seller as well.
Because you have a fiduciary duty
to the seller because there's a contract.
Exactly.
But so there's all of this thing. Also, due to this market demands, that listing agent is going to get two sides of the commission. It's not going to lower the price for the homeowner, so you're not saving money doing that.
Now, we wanted to talk about surprises that you may encounter during the home buying process, what they are.
Okay, other things. 85% of all homeowners admitted the home buying journey was filled with a surprise. Unexpected surprises, unexpected knowledge, unexpected everything.
And one of the things is puzzle of the closing costs.
Yeah.
Basically, 30% were taken back by the share of the expense of the closing costs, not 30%.
Yes. Also, closing costs are going to be very, very different depending on the area in which you live.
Exactly.
And this is why my husband said in a different video, you should try to use local lenders because they charge local prices. Because we've seen it where these lenders from out of state charge out of state fees, and then that home buyer is going to pay that.
Double sometimes.
I've seen it triple. Right, I've seen it $18,000 in my market when the actual closing is 6 to 7. So it's just crazy numbers out there. So I mean, it's really come from how much the lender is charging. Most of that is lender fees. So the closing costs on average are going to
3%.
3%. It can be 6% in other markets. It's 3% here as well.
Therefore, 64% of Americans actually they are dark about this percentage. And 31% of them fall short in their estimates.
Right, so make sure we're talking about estimates that actually make sense. So if you're using California, Arizona for your lender and you're here in North Carolina, those fees in Texas are high, much higher than what we have here when you're talking about the lender fees. Now, more information to make your eyebrow go up, right? Make you go, nearly a third, 29% of all Americans did not believe that their home would sell as fast as it does.
And 27% they are not clear about the constitutes of the closing costs.
Right, which means that your agent honestly didn't do a good explanation for the seller on how much you're going to walk away with, and you should have that number there. We would always tell our people how much you should be walking away with on average. Of course, we don't know your specifics of your mortgage, and if you're got 4 mortgages out there and you only told us about 1, that's a different question. But generally speaking, if you're honest with us, we can be honest back with you.
And 26% really, they didn't foresee the lengthy buying process too, which could be sometimes lengthy, also depends on your lender.
24% are started with how little face-to-face information or interaction with the home seller and the home seller's agent actually is.
And 25% they felt that they paid more than they thought.
Right, which means you should be getting those what is in the contract explained much better.
Exactly. Now we wanted to talk about the hurdles that might occur in the offer to purchase. No?
Okay, 17% of buyers felt their offers were more than they expected than securing a home.
Yes. And what else? What is the majority of the 53%? Basically, they make more than 3 offers.
Right.
No?
But the reality is 24% of homeowners actually go 3 or more offers. So,
and at the end, 39% were not even prepared for drown out the process based off the acceptance of the offer to purchase. No?
Right. So here's more predominant misconceptions that we see out there. Nearly 2/3, 66% are under false assumptions that securing the home loan mandates a very, very high credit score. FHA requires 580, guys. So just know, and even if you're lower than 580 but you have money, you can still probably buy that home. FHA actually requires 500 if you are coming down with 10%.
Exactly. And non-homeowners are particularly misinformed with the 14% higher likely of the holding of disbelief, which is crazy.
And when we've seen this number, the credit score picture, just in general, recently, my husband's helping a client, their credit is 700, and they were so upset their credit is 700 because they didn't think they could qualify for a loan. But we understand, no, you're going to be fine, because I understand something dropped you from that 800 to 700, and that's okay because a regular loan only requires 620. FHA requires 580 and can go down to 500. So if that one thing is fixed and now you're just kind of waiting for your credit to be fixed, just don't freak out.
Exactly. And basically, we wanted to talk about the road to improving your credit score. We have lots of videos and series about that, but we wanted to unpack some of the information that 52% are overly optimistic, thinking they can ramp up their credit score in a very, very short time.
Yeah, but the reality is, fixing your credit is going to take a little longer than just you do this one thing, it'll be going away quickly. It's typically a marathon. You have to kind of pay your bills down consistently, pay it off, and get things done in a certain order. So that gets your credit to go away. So it takes time to fix your credit.
And here we wanted to also talking about untangling mortgage rate misconception. And the knowledge is the 43% of the non-homeowners, they are basically well versed with the mortgage, and only 12%?
12% are aware that current rates for 30-year mortgages go up and down every single second of every single day, like in the mortgage rates, as we talked about.
And the erroneous rate estimate, which is a significant portion of the home buyers, which meaning 43%, they think the rate is over 7%.
Right, and it's around 7, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get 7. So it just depends a lot on your information as well.
Exactly.
25 believes it is soared into the 10%, which is not seen since the 1990s. Or higher. It was 15% in the 70s. We haven't been back to that yet. What is it?
And this sharp contrast between non-homeowners and the homeowners, meaning that 13% of the former group estimate a rate exceeding even 15%. No?
Right. Now, we have not seen those numbers since the 1970s. And I want to point out that once you go with the fixed rate, your mortgage payment is never going to change unless you do something to change it. So you're going to refinance it to make it lower or whatever. So just so you know, the underestimation, 45% believe that the rate is going to be under 6%. So they just come in thinking it's still like last year or before the year before. So 45% are not even aware that rates have changed.
And off of that, they lead to 27% of the homeowner finding themselves with a higher mortgage interest rate that they anticipated.
So we hope you found all of this information that we kind of put all like the myths of home buying there. So you can see why it's in your favor to have a buyer's agent, to why it's in your favor to understand your loan costs, understand in your favor what is actually going to go on with the actual buying process. So you should be picking a home not just based on make an offer when you don't actually love that home. You should always love that home.
Exactly. And definitely talk to your agent to recommend you a right or rights lenders that you can work with, and it helps you to ease you from the process, a stressful process dealing with out-of-state lenders.
And if you want to come to our website, hit alandvictoria.com, and also don't forget to call us at 252-327-3357.
And we are here for you, and support us by subscribing in our YouTube channel and podcast, and see you in the next podcast and video.